Hi guys, and welcome to Payroll Management System developed in Python using MySQL Database. Okay, let me show you guys how this works. Right here I have the details of this guy called Godfrey.Sun. Okay, and here I also have a calculator. This is just where you enter the details of the wages and so on. So you can see you only have about altogether 8 input that you need to go through here. At the end of the day, all you just need to do is to click on the wages. But right here, the information of Godfrey is not on the database. That is the database. So all we then need to do is come right here, click on display. Once you click on display, go straight to the database. It's still not there. All you just need to do is, if you guys have a good look, refresh, and that is Godfrey right there. I'm going to minimize that, and let's enter new data. So click on reset. There we go, and enter Alan Brian, and address, let's say number 1 Kingsland Way. There we go. Postcode there, and that is mail. There we go. Now let's check out the wages of Alan. We enter those in there. Let's say he works with Goodman, and wages, the waiting allowance, wages, overtime, and other payments. There we go. All we then need to do is we can use the calculator to add all of these together. If you want, the choice is yours. You can always do that, or you can just click on wages, and there we go. All of the rest information of Alan Brian is actually entered straight into the system. So if we want to enter the whole lot straight into the database, that is the database right there. So you can see there's no information of Alan Brian here, and we also have notebook where we can enter whatever we want to enter in there. So let's come in here and just click on display. There we go. Record successfully added. So let's go into the view. Alan Brian, that's the details of Alan Brian right there. Okay, the notebook, the choice is yours if you want to enter some information about him. Though the notebook would not, nothing on the notebook is saved to the database. Okay, now let's go into the database and find out if Alan Brian's details is on the system. That is the database. As you can see, Alan Brian's details is not there, and we just need to click on refresh and make sure it's there. Yeah, it's right there. Look at it. That's Alan Brian right there. Okay, that's how the system works. Okay guys, and let's log off and start with a new project. So I'm going to click on exit. There we go, and right here I'm going to select new there. And okay, I'm going to start with the following. The first thing is I'm going to import the following library. So let's say Tkinter, and I'm going to import it all. Import all, enter a star there, and import the following as well. There we go. And the next thing I'm going to do is let's create a class here. I'm just going to call the class payroll, and enter column in there. And now let's more or less get it over with. So I'm going to come in here and just enter main. So if underscore name underscore equals underscore main underscore, and I'm just going to say root equals tk there, and what else? Let's say application application. That will be equals payroll. That's the name of my class, payroll, and this payroll is going to be inside root. And I'm going to say root dot main loop, and that's it. I've just rendered up the whole system. So let's come in here first. I'm just gonna save that. I'm gonna come right in here. Let's select my payroll folder in here, and then because I've got some notepad as well for the TabControl, I'm just gonna select that and call it payroll, payroll. Okay, that's fine. MySQL system. Okay, and that is it. Payroll MySQL system. So let's click on save. Where is it? I think right here somewhere. And click on save. There we go. That is it. Saved. Right. Okay, now that that is saved, the next thing I want to do now is I'm going to create a method, or you can call it a function. Let's say define as follows. Okay, initialize, that's going to be self, comma, root, there, enter semicolon. So I'm now going to say self.root, paste that in here, self.root, that will be equals root. Then I will also say self.root equals as follows. Let's enter the title in there, dot title, and let's call that MySQL Payroll Management System. That is going to be the title that I'm going to call it. There we go. Alright, title is taken care of. Now the next thing I want to do is, because I need tabs on this system, I might as well just create a tab right now. But before then, let me add a geometry. The geometry would be for the size and so on of my screen. So I'm going to say self.geometry. Okay, set.geometry. I'm going to make that approximately 1350 multiplied by 800 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0. And plus 0 means it's going to start somewhere from the left up here. And that is that taken care of. So because I do need a notebook to create my, that would be to create the TabControl that we referred to in another program, but here it's called notebook. So I'm going to, I might as well just call it notebook. Notebook equals, the library is Tkinter, ttk dot notebook, that is the widget name, equals self.root is going to be inside root. There we go. So I now have a name for my widget there. So the next thing I want to do now is, let's say self dot, I'm going to call it TabControl 1. I'm going to need about 3 equals ttk dot frame, and that very frame is going to be a child of notebook. There, I have my very first tab in there. I'm going to copy this and just, and there we go. That's number 2 and number 3. So let's get it indented. Let's highlight them all and press Control. There, that's one done, and the other one. Tab. There we go. So that is 1, 2, and 3. Let's change this to tab, and tab here and tab here as well. Okay, that's cool. So what else do we need to do? So I'm going to now get this notebook. I want you to add the following. So let's say notebook dot add, and what are we adding? We're adding these tabs. So this is the very first one. Is that in here? Add that, and once it's added, what is going to be the title for this? I'm going to call it text equals payroll system. Okay, that's cool. Payroll system. That is the very first tab. The very first tab is going to be called payroll system. So I'm going to highlight that and just copy it across. Come right here, just paste it here. Alright, so we have the other two. Bring that here as well. And this is going to be 2 and 3 here. There. Those are the 3 tabs, but I'm going to change the name of this. Let's call this one View Payments, something like that. View Payment. So in there, in View Payment, I'm just going to add a table, a Treeview. Then here is going to be Notebook, so you can enter whatever comment you want in there. Notebook or comment book. Now you see this my system here, notebook itself. I'm going to get it, I'm just going to round it up. Dot grid, and that's all there is to that. Okay, so let's run it. Oh dear, look at an error here. This is supposed to be book. There. Alright, let's click on run. We have to save it first though. And if it's working fine, we should see the 3 tabs. There we go, 1, 2, and 3. So those are the 3 tabs taken care of. Now close that. Now the next thing I want to do is, just to make life easy for me, I'm going to declare every single variable that I need, and that is going to be employee name. Okay, that's fine. Employee name. An employee name is going to be string variable. There, that's the very first one. So the next one, copy that. I'm going to add address and paste, and so on. And right there, guys, those are my string variable that I'm going to need for this very system. So let's make sure that is saved. Okay, the next thing I want to do now is I'm going to create frames. So those frames, I will use them to actually divide my system here into how I want to place every single one of my datas. So let's start by entering as follows. So the first one, I'm just going to call it mainframe. This mainframe is going to be a child. No, first of all, mainframe is a frame widget, and this frame widget is going to be a child of self dot. It is self because it is in a class. So let's come in here, and that is self dot. No, that should be self dot TabControl 1. The very first one, this one here. I'm referring to this one now. So that frame is going to be in there. So the next thing I want to do is, let's add a border. I'm going to make that about 10. Now so let's settle for the width. The width is going to be 1350, comma, and height, I'm going to make that about 700, comma, and I'm going to get a relief that will be rigid, equals rigid. So in that case, that will kind of like raise it up for me. And this framework, I'm going to run that up here. Let's paste that underneath here. There we go. Dot grid. Enter parentheses. That's my very first frame taken care of. I'm going to copy this very same frame, paste it right underneath here. 1 and 2. Okay. The next one is, let's just call this one tab 2. This is more or less like tab 1. I'm going to call it tab 2. Tab 2. Tab 2 frame. There. Yeah, copy that, paste that in here. And here is going to be tab 3 frame. Right. And each of these will be in their own tab. This is tab 2, tab 3. There. So the rest of the frame, I'm going to copy this, kind of like speed it up. Okay. Okay guys, here are my frames. Let's take it from the top so that you can see my declarations for every single library I intend to use. The class is declared, and here we have initialized the root and bring it down. My tab controls, variables that I declared, those are the variables I intend to use. And come right down here, those are the frames. The main frame, maybe we could have called that tab number 1, but that's alright. And here are the other tabs, sorry, other frames. There we go, right there. So those are all the frames I intend to use, and I'm now going to run it, and let's see how that's going to look like. Run. And there we go guys. That is how it's looking right now. So all the frames are in place. Not much is happening right now. Okay, with that being said, let's take care of some widgets right there. Okay, the very first widget I'd like to take care of, that would be for the title. So I'm just going to enter title in there. So I'm going to call that LBL title. And that title is going to be a label widget, and this very widget is going to be inside the frame that I call top frame. This very one here, top frame 1. Grab that and paste that right in here. There. And font equals area. You can use whatever font you want. The choice is yours. And the size, I'm going to make that about 12. And also let's make it bold. There. And the text content on it, I'm just going to, 12 might be too small. Let's make it about 40. Alright. The text content on it, I'm going to say text equals, let's get it tabbed first. We need a speech mark for that. Tab, and that is going to be Payroll Management System. There we go. And get it tabbed again. I'm going to enter a comma here. Alright, and what else do we need to enter? Shall we get it justified center? Okay, justified center equals center in uppercase. Right, close that. I'm going to come right down here and let's run this up. Let's say self. So since, okay, self dot title. So right underneath here, I'm going to say self dot title dot grid, and that is going to be Let's get it padded though. Equals about maybe 76. There we go. Right. Okay, so let's run it, but before then there's a command missing here. That's 40. Yeah, that's fine. So I'm going to come in here and save that. There we go. Let's see. That is it. So the title is in place. Okay, I'm going to now take care of the other widget that will be inside my system. So let me copy this very title, copy that, and right underneath here, maybe copy all of this here and paste that here. This is meant to be for the other widget. I'm just going to change this one. Right, and this, I'm going to change the size of this to about 12, and the name of this, I'm going to change that to employee. Let's say employee name, something like that. Employee name, and here it's going to be employee name as well. And this very employee widget is going to be resident right inside top frame 2. There we go. And what else? Here I'm going to say role. So role equals 0, comma, column equals 0 as well, and let's say strictly to the west equals west. There. Right, so let's correct this error here. That should be a comma, and here I'm going to get rid of this. The text content on this is going to be employee name, so we'll grab that, paste that in here, employee name. There. And what else do we need to do? Just going to run it. Let's run it and see how that's going to look like. Let's come here, run, and let's see. All right, not too bad. Okay. That's good. Alright, I don't need it to be centered, so get rid of that, and let me enter a border in there, about 10. So I'm going to copy this, and let's just change the details run for the text widget that will be right beside it. So come right down here. So that is going to be txt employee name, and this one txt employee name as well. Okay, so what else? So this should be entry. The widget is called entry. Now, and it's going to be right in here, and it's going to be column 1. Get rid of this. And what else do we want? Size is that. We don't need this. We don't. So, but we do need a variable for it. So I'm going to call that variable. That would be equals, wrong spelling. The variable equals employee name. Undo that. Employee name equals employee name, because I do have up here have a variable called employee name, this very one here. Let's do that again. That is it right there. Grab that and just paste it right in here. Bring it down, and right there, employee name, that's the variable. Okay, let's modify this a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is maybe get rid of this. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, let's say that to be about 5, and I'm going to say the width equals about 59 comma, and let's justify its left Yeah, let me justify it. Left, paste that in there, and I'm just going to enter left in there, comma, press enter so that I have enough room. Okay, so I think that will do for now. Let's save that and run. Let's see how that's gonna look like. There we go, guys. Look at that. So looking beautiful. Okay, so what I'm just gonna do now is copy this and just speed it up for the other ones. Alright, so I've just speed that up. That is the orders there. So have a good look at it. So the only difference is I created a combo box here for the male and female there. So have a good look at that. Right, so let's run it now and just see how that's going to look like. So I'm going to click on run there. There we go. That's how it's looking now. So with that, guys, I'm going to call it the end of the very first part of this tutorial, and I'll see you guys shortly.